Welcome to the Diagnostic Clinic. I'm your lead examiner and head physician for today, and we are tackling a critical emergency that I see year after year in the Cambridge Computer Science and IT exams. We're looking across the board here, whether you're sitting for syllabus codes 0417, 0478, 2210, 9618, or specifically the A-level 9626, the underlying illness is the same. Today, we're looking specifically at topic 3.2, sound sensors in burglar alarms and proximity sensors in smartphones. Now look, on the surface, these sound like incredibly straightforward pieces of hardware, right? You probably learned what a sensor was years ago. But when it comes to the actual past papers, candidates frequently stumble. They present symptoms of a much deeper misunderstanding when it comes to their exam technique. I want you to picture two types of students I see all the time. Let's call them Alex and Sam. Alex is the overloader. Alex memorizes every single raw computer science fact about sensors, but provides absolutely zero analytical depth. Then you have Sam. Sam is the rusher. Sam completely misses the command word requirements, ignores the context, and just vomits out a generic definition. Both of these students are failing questions they actually know the answers to. So today, we are going to diagnose exactly where those marks are bleeding out and prescribe a guaranteed treatment plan based directly on the principal examiner reports. Let's get to work.
So why are we focusing so heavily on this? The crucial point is that sound and proximity sensors and their applied data flows account for a massive 15% of your total marks in Paper 2. Just let that sink in for a second. 15%. That is a staggering amount of weight for a single subtopic. It raises the stakes considerably. If you're walking into this exam just knowing the basic definition of a sensor without understanding how to analyze its multi-stage use in a given context, you are literally leaving a massive chunk of your final grade on the table. You can't just afford to write off 15%. We need a system to secure every single one of those marks, ensuring we move from a failing grade to an A star.
Here is our treatment plan for today's explainer. We'll start with the 15% symptom, diagnose the top mistakes, introduce the method mark strategy, dive into the deconstruct and solve framework, and finally do the examiner's final check.
Let's move right into our first section. Act 1, the 15% symptom. It really is a fascinating paradox. Despite understanding basic sensor functions, like the simple fact that a proximity sensor detects how close an object is to a smartphone screen, candidates struggle immensely. Why? Because they fail to capture the all-important method marks hidden within complex multi-stage problems. Think back to our two students, Alex and Sam. Alex gets a question about how a smartphone disables its touchscreen during a call. Alex writes, "A proximity sensor detects infrared light bouncing off the face." End of answer. It's a true fact, but it gets practically 0 marks. Sam gets the same question, completely misses the command word evaluate, and writes, "Sensors are used to turn off screens to save battery." Again, missing the entire point of the question. The Cambridge syllabus emphasizes that top-performing students exhibit connected conceptual understanding that transfers to unfamiliar contexts. If you just memorize facts about an alarm but can't analyze the sequence of data interpretation, the analog-to-digital conversion, the microprocessor threshold checks, the loopback, you are going to bleed marks. It is not just about the hardware. It's about the entire logical process the hardware initiates.
Moving on to section 2. It's time to act as the lead physician and diagnose the top mistakes straight from the examiner's desk.
The principal examiner reports reveal these 3 fatal mistakes that prevent candidates from demonstrating their conceptual understanding. Symptom 1. Answers are often far too vague. Examiners do not want generalizations. They don't want to hear the sensor sends data to the computer. They want specific details about exactly how a sound sensor triggers an event, the continuous polling, the ADC conversion, the logical comparison to a preset value. Symptom 2. Formatting and presentation failures. This happens when students like Sam rush. They write one massive block of text instead of logical, sequential steps, losing easy professional skill marks. And symptom 3, perhaps the most critical, answers are completely disconnected from the context given. If the question specifically asks about a proximity sensor in a smartphone, preventing accidental touchscreen inputs with your cheek, and you start writing an essay about automated sliding doors at a supermarket, your answer is completely detached from the scenario. You haven't decoded the command word, and you haven't locked into the context. This brilliantly illustrates the difference between an answer that just lists facts and an answer that applies precise causal relationships. To fix this, top students use what I call the PEAL framework: point, evidence, explanation, link. A generic description from our friend Alex just says, a sound sensor detects noise. That's not PEAL. A context-specific implementation using PEAL looks like this. The sound sensor continuously monitors acoustic levels, point. It captures analog data and sends it through an ADC, evidence. The microprocessor then compares this real-time digital data to a preset threshold, explanation, which ultimately ensures the burglar alarm only triggers if a window breaks rather than a dog barking. Link. Do you hear the difference? One is a symptom of rote memorization, the other is the cure of applied contextual analysis using the Peel structure. Before we continue, subscribe to our YouTube channel Ace the Exams at acetheexams_IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. Click that subscribe button and hit the bell icon right now. Listen to this critical examiner alert. I literally pulled this directly from a past paper report. If you skip the foundational definitions, your entire diagnosis falls apart in the eyes of the grader. They are telling you exactly what they want to see on the page. If you start analyzing the causal relationships of a burglar alarm system, but confuse the analog to digital converter with the microprocessor itself, your entire logical chain is corrupted. The examiner stops reading and stops awarding marks. Now, what's really interesting here is that establishing your definitions first acts as a protective shield for your higher level analysis later on. This is the precision rule. The theoretical architecture of topic 3.2 rests on precise definitions. By taking just a moment, just one sentence at the start of your Peel paragraph, to explicitly define the key terms, you anchor your answer. It shows the examiner you have absolute mastery of the fundamental principles before you even begin to deconstruct the complex scenario. Let's move to section 3. With the symptoms diagnosed, let's explore the strategy examiners desperately want to see you use. Top-performing students follow this exact 5-step procedural framework to extract evidence and secure every single method mark. Think of this as your computer science success blueprint. Method marks are awarded for the process, not just the final conclusion. Let's do a live rewrite of Alex and Sam's answers in our heads. Step 1. Identify the key elements. What is the sensor monitoring? Step 2. Apply the principles. What's the threshold value? Step 3. Execute the analysis with clear working. This is where you map the data journey from sensor to ADC to processor to actuator. Step 4. Verify results. Does this sequence make logical sense for a smartphone? Step 5. Present it in the Peel format we talked about earlier. By following this standardized sequence, you are actively curing the vague, rushed answers that cost so many students their target grades. The assessment objectives for Cambridge Computer Science aren't just about rote memorization. They scale up heavily toward application and distinct cognitive domains of analysis. Look at this breakdown. Knowledge and understanding are just the baseline. Notice how the bulk of the marks live in application and analysis. This proves exactly why generic, fact-dumping answers completely fail. You have to take that baseline knowledge of what a sound sensor is and apply it dynamically to the context provided. You have to analyze the data flow. Stop scrolling. Subscribe to our YouTube channel Ace the Exams at acetheexams_IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. We've helped thousands of students improve by 2 to 3 grade boundaries. Join them right now by subscribing to Ace the Exams_IGCSE and turn on all notifications so you never miss our weekly exam strategy sessions. Here is a massive secret weapon from the examiner reports. Integrating your knowledge of sound and proximity sensors with other syllabus areas proves you have a transferable understanding. Think about it. A proximity sensor in a smartphone doesn't operate in a vacuum. It interacts with the operating system, the screen's hardware, battery power management, and user interfaces. When you draw these cross-topic connections in your exam, you elevate your response from a standard textbook bullet point to an expert-level technical analysis. Let's move to Section 4, the ultimate prescription, the 3-stage framework for critical analysis. By breaking a complex smartphone or alarm problem into logical steps, you ensure you are checking for reasonableness at every stage. We are going into an interactive workshop right now. I want you to imagine a complex data table on your exam paper, showing sound frequencies in a factory. Challenge 1, data scan. You have 60 seconds on the clock in your exam. You need to deconstruct the given information instantly. What is the normal baseline? What is the anomaly? Next, challenge 2, find the flaw. You solve systematically. You trace the data path. If a student writes, the sensor decides to ring the alarm, you need to spot the flaw immediately. The sensor doesn't decide anything. The microprocessor does. Finally, you evaluate. Why is this specific sensor the best approach for a loud factory? What are the limitations? This 3-step process is foolproof. This table breaks down exactly what is required at each cognitive level to transition from a basic descriptive answer to a high-scoring evaluative one. Tier 1 is descriptive, just identifying the given information. It's necessary, but it won't get you top marks. Tier 2 is analytical. This is where you start comparing approaches and using the Peel framework. But Tier 3, the evaluative level, is the absolute gold standard. Time for Challenge 3, speed writing. Imagine you have 30 seconds to write a perfect Tier 3 sentence. You have to question assumptions and justify your recommendations with hard evidence derived from the scenario. You're not just saying how it works, you're arguing why it's configured that way. This is what examiners are desperately hunting for. Top-scoring candidates demonstrate true evaluative thinking by rigorously questioning the data quality provided in the past paper context. Let's say the exam question involves a sound sensor burglar alarm near a busy road. Evaluating the evidence quality means identifying the strict limitation of background noise. It means uncovering the hidden assumption that the digital threshold is set perfectly out of the box. It means proposing alternative interpretations. Could a passing heavy truck trigger the alarm instead of an actual broken window? Assessing how these real-world factors affect the final conclusion is what transforms a good answer into a perfect one. Finally, Section 5, the examiner's final check. Before we conclude our clinic, we must review the strict conventions expected in your final presentation. Practical application means treating your exam paper with professional skill, ensuring your formatting perfectly supports your technical conclusions. The syllabus is explicit about developing professional skills. That means using proper headings to organize your multi-stage analysis. It means the exact deployment of correct terminology. Remember our precision rule. It also means applying a time management matrix. If a question is worth 8 marks, you cannot spend 20 minutes on it, and you cannot format it as one unreadable paragraph. You format data properly, provide clear, logical annotations, and you allocate your time strictly based on the mark weight. Make it incredibly easy for the examiner to give you those method marks. So the crucial point is that mastering these core theoretical principles is the only way to adapt to whatever unique scenario Cambridge throws at you. Let's recap the 3 rules that guarantee top marks. Number 1, command word decoding. Number 2, Peel framework application. And number 3, the time management matrix. Whether it's a proximity sensor shutting off a screen or a sound sensor detecting a frequency anomaly, the procedural framework remains exactly the same. Students who implement these computer science strategies see an average improvement of 2 grade boundaries, but only if they practice consistently with our weekly videos. As you prepare for your next paper, ask yourself if you are truly deconstructing the problem, and remember that methodical evaluation is the ultimate cure for low marks. Don't be the candidate who just writes generic definitions. Be the candidate who diagnoses the data flow, decodes the command word, and secures every single mark. Here's your final reminder. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ace the Exams, at acetheexams_IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. Subscribe right now to at acetheexams_IGCSE and click that bell. Don't let another exam pass you by. Also, drop a comment below with your target grade for computer science and the biggest challenge you're facing. Our team responds to every comment. Like and share this video with a study partner. Ace the Exams, your Cambridge success starts here.